we? Can anyone just tell me where were we? What we were doing?
Yeah, we were moving the objects. We are talking about the
We
layout.
are trying to. Okay. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. Let me know when you can see the screen. I will share it again. You guys have any doubts so far? Okay. Cool. Yes. And those two people who are mouse were manufacturing, did you get a new mouse? Okay, I hope so. All right. So now, like till now, we were just looking around the subjects. Now let's actually go there and kind of try to move the subject a little bit. Okay. Now, in order to move the subject, in order to move everything like to any side, I can. Before that, I will tell you one another shortcut. Blender is full of shortcuts. I mean, there is one other shortcut. You just press N in your keyboard. It will give you these options here. And again, it is gone. N. There is a small window over here. In this small window, this have the same like information you had in this properties. See, you can do all that. You can do all that here. And these are three options. You have item, tool, and view. Okay? And I'll tell you what exactly all those things later. And that's very important. I will tell you what exactly these things are later. And if you install some kind of plugin for any kind, that also will come here. I don't have any plugin at this moment. I kept it
Hello.
free for you guys. And I'll show you how to install plugins and what's the importance of that. That's it. Okay, so I just a handle that. If you click here, it will go.
ஒர்க்ஷாப் ஒன்று கண்டக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அதில் இருக்கேன். சொல்லுங்க.
Alright. So
இல்லை உங்கள் சாம்பிள் போட்டிருக்கு. அது இமேஜ் பண்ணா விஷுவலைஸ் பண்ணா அவ்வளோ க்ளீனா ஃப்ளூரசன்ஸ் வரல. மேபி கிளியரா டிஸ்பர்ஸ் ஆகலையான்னு தெரியல. பட் யூ கேன் ஜஸ்ட் கிவ் அ ட்ரை.
you can
போட்டு
always
பார்த்து
click on
பண்ணி
this
பார்த்து சொல்லுங்க.
IMSO and drag. Okay, this will also drag.
சீரியம்க்கு இல்ல. சீரியம் இதாகல. டிஸ்பர்ஸ் ஆகல.
You can always click on this small thing here and it will rotate. And also if you want to take the hand icon from here, and then you can kind of do, if you don't have a mouse handy, that you can kind of do all the things.
லைக்காலோட தான் போட்டுருக்கேன்.
If you're comfortable this way, then you can click on this hand and slowly move. It will move. It will click on this zoom icon.
டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டீங்களா? ஓகே. அப்ப நான் ஒன்னு பண்றேன். அப்ப எனக்கு இப்ப நீங்க கொடுங்க. நான் மத்தியானத்துக்கு மேல நான் உட்கார்ந்து நான் அதை ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண சொல்றேன் பசங்களை. பவுடர் ஆக்கிட்டு நான் அதை உங்களுக்கு லுமினசன்ஸ் பார்க்க சொல்றேன்.
That's very easy.
அது வேணா ட்ரை பண்ணி பார்த்துறேன்.
Exactly clicking on these things will be very difficult.
ஓகேவா?
Okay, so that's we have seen.
நான் ஒரு 4 o'clock போல ஃபோன் அடிக்கிறேன். ஒரு 2 hours தேவைப்படும். அது இன்னொரு தடவை ஹீட் பண்ணிட்டு
let's see how exactly we can
black ஆக்கிட்டு அதுல ஃப்ளூரசன்ஸ் வருதான்னு முதல்ல டெஸ்ட் பண்றேன். வரலனா தான்
topic is very simple. Whatever we can do with this an object is like we
can ஃப்ளூரசன்ஸ் இருந்தா அது
them,
நானோ மெட்டீரியல்ஸா இருக்கும். இல்லனா அது வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி பவுடர் ஆயிடும்.
Right? Is there anything else?
நானோ பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ் தான வேணும். நானோ தான பார்க்க வேண்டியது. ஆமா, அதனால தான் நான் யூஸ்
At this moment no. These are the three basic operations that we are doing. We can move them, we can rotate them, and we can scale them. Okay?
நம்ம அது வாங்கிக்கலாம்.
If you want to move them,
no problem.
One way to move is that just click on the object here or here. Either way, it's fine. I mean, here, either here or in the list. Okay. Press G. Okay. Press G in your keyboard. G for graph. Okay. G in your keyboard, and the item is stick to your mouse. Now you can just move wherever you want. Just try doing it. Okay. We can do this. That's one way of doing it. Okay. If you really know where exactly you want to keep freehand, you can do this. Okay. When you press G and X, it will move only in X-axis. Okay. If you want to kind of apply your transformation, if you want to keep it somewhere, take the thing that where you want to like bring it to and just click. Then it will be there. Just I'll say that again. Press G. Once you press G, the object is stick to your mouse cursor. Okay. Now wherever you kind of move things, your object will follow. See, I am not clicking. I'm not clicking and dragging. I just press G and I am moving my mouse. Okay. If you want to place the object here, click. It will place. Okay. Now you grab it, but you changed your mind. You don't want to move that. Then right click. It will go back to the original position. Okay. G to grab, move, click to place. Okay. If you don't want to place, grab, move, and you don't want to place, you just right click. It will go back. Is that happening for everyone? Okay. I think it does. Or am I audible? Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Cool. Now, to have much more controls, you click G, X. It will move only in X-axis. We cannot move in Y-axis. It will move only in X-axis. Okay. So I want you guys to look at these values here and here when I am doing these movements. Okay. G, X. See, only X values are changing. Y values and Z values are not changing, which means that we are moving the subject only in X-axis. Now, G, Y. See, only Y is. G, Z. Only Z is. Okay. What if you want to move this into here? Okay, I want to move this here, exactly over here. So that is on X-axis and Y-axis, right? So how do I do that? I have two options. Either I can try to move like this, but the problem is that I don't know where exactly is that. See, it goes on Z-axis also. So if you try to move it on perspective view, then it's very difficult that you won't be able to move that correctly. So I can either move that here in X-axis and then move again on Y-axis to keep it here. That's a possibility that we can do that. But that's 2 clicks. We don't have to do that. Life is already complicated otherwise. We don't have to make it more complicated. What we can do, we can grab it. Okay, once it is grabbed, press Shift Z, which means that this is locked to X and Y axis. When you click Shift Z, which means that the Z axis is locked up. We are not going to move to the Z axis. It will move only on X and Y axis now. No Z. See, Z values are not changing. Only X and Y values are changing. Okay. Same as that. If you don't want to move on Y axis, grab Shift Y. Now this will move only in grab Shift Y. See, now it will only move in Z and X axis. Nowhere else. All right. Same one. Grab ZX. Now it's been confined to Y and Z axis, not in X axis. See, X axis values are not moving. See, that much is clear, right? That much is clear, I think.
Maybe
Another easy way to.
Maybe can you repeat?
Yeah. Yes, I can repeat. Simple. G to grab, right? Once it is grabbed, this is free movement. It will go anywhere that you want. But it is too difficult to move exactly and place it exactly on this place that you want to place, because you are not seeing one axis. And if you look at the values in the transform panel, values over here, everything is moving. X, Y, and Z are moving. Okay. Now, if I want to move that object only in x-axis, grab X. So now it will move only in x-axis, right? Grab G, Y will only move in y-axis. Okay. Grab Z will only move in z-axis. Okay. That makes it clear, right?
Yes.
Now, if you don't want to move in z-axis, but only confined your movement in x and y-axis, then what we want to do is that grab shift z. Now it's not moving in z-axis. Okay. I can give you a PowerPoint, give you a PDF of whole series shortcuts, but it's very difficult to by heart and by heart these shortcuts. So I like you to kind of write it down anywhere now itself. So if you don't want to move this on x-axis, then this is x and y. So shift Z, we will confine this to x and y. It will not move to z-axis. So shift Z means Z is removed. Just like that, if you don't want to move something on x-axis, then grab shift X. Now it's only move on Z and y-axis. Get it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now I have been teasing these things for a while. I mean, here are the tools. I have been teasing these things for a while. Leave first and second for now. We will come back to that later. Okay. We don't not worry about that. This is selection tool and this is a cursor. Just leave that for now. Here, this is move tool. Okay. This is another and easy and much efficient way to move is that you just select on this. If you are selected on this on the subject you want to move, and on the move tool, you will have this kind of arrows here. Okay. So you have this blue, red, and green arrow. You just click on that arrow and drag. Simple. Wherever you want to move it, which angle that you want to move it, you just click on that arrow and so just like that, if you want to kind of move into two dimensions at the same place, to x and y axis, then you click on the square before it. So now you are just moving on that particular angle only. You are not moving on x axis. You are moving only on z and y axis. If you click on this thing, this is similar to putting shift X. So here again there is a blue square over here, right? If you click here, it will confine to X and Y axis. It will not move on Z axis. It is similar to pressing Shift Z. Get it? Okay. Can somebody rewind what I have solved so far? How do you move something on X axis?
G plus X.
G plus X. And if you don't want to move the same thing on Y axis, then
Shift plus Y.
G Shift plus Y. Okay. Did everybody tried that? Is everything working fine?
No, I was just watching you.
Okay. I mean, try doing it. Otherwise, what if the problem is that if you don't try it right now, after when I say this next thing, it will be confusing. Now I am going to say, now I have given you like 6 or 7 different combinations. Now I am going to repeat this combination for all rotation and scale. See.
Okay.
So, I mean, try doing it. Everybody, try do it. Try doing it. All good. Now everyone move that on Z axis. Everyone move the cube on Z axis. Doesn't matter how your window looks like. You try move it on its Z axis using the command or the move tool. Anybody have any issues?
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Now from here we'll go to rotation. Okay. For rotation also, the workflow remains the same, but instead of G, you press R. Once you press R, you can rotate in any angle, any dimensions without any control. So look at the rotation panel here. When I click R, all the X and Y and Z rotations are happening at the same time, right? So similarly, R X will confine your rotation only to X-axis. Okay? Or Y will confine only to Y-axis. Or Z will confine to Z-axis. We can do the shift business also. Okay. So now if you press R and while you are and Y and while you are rotating and if you press shift, it will rotate in increments. Okay. That's something I will come in later. That's something little later, so I will come in later. So this is how it is. So now for move tool, we have a handles like this, right? Just like that, we have a rotate handle here. You click on that rotate handle, now something like this will come up. These are three things. One is this blue thing is Z rotation. You click on that, you can rotate only in Z direction, on an axis. You can do that on X-axis, Y-axis, and X-axis. And this white circle is actually, if you want to rotate on all the axes, just like that, you can use this Y. Okay. Sometimes that's also necessary because this is actually this white one is rotating based on the view. Okay. If I kind of move this a little something here and rotate it will rotate up to on this angle. This is rotating based on the view, how exactly we are looking at it. That's also sometimes is necessary. That's very simple. Can anybody try doing that rotation?
I have a quick question. Say we have all these options on the left side. I mean the panning or even the rotation. I mean the left side menu, right? I mean the one which is highlighted to your left.
This one,
Yeah, these two things are there. So then why we need to understand this G and shift plus Z? I mean, what is the? I mean, if there is, will there be any need on in future when we design it or something, or it's just we can use this?
there will be. So there will be. So the thing is that, see, if you are designing only one or two things, then it is okay. It's all fine. Okay, you don't want to do all of those things. But if you are designing so many things and you don't have enough time to finish everything, then this handy shortcuts are very useful. Okay, I'm always using. See, the thing is that you can always, when you're working on Word, you can always go to highlight a Word, right click, copy, left click, paste. But most often you use Control V and Control C, right? Why do you do that?
Yeah, to make it easier to work.
Yes, exactly. That's the point. I mean, see here, if you just want to click on something and see the thing is, look at it. You select here, go here, select here and drag. These are three clicks. Okay.
Okay.
So just G is only one click.
Okay.
GX is only just you are using your keyboard, nothing else.
So do you mean to say that it is much faster? That's the one reason.
Yes, exactly. That's the only reason. That's much faster, much convenient to do that in this way. That's the only reason. There is no why exactly we are doing all this. I mean, the only reason is convenience, nothing else. Okay. So see, I also did the same mistake before, thinking that okay, I will go some extra miles. I don't need that convenience. I am not going to learn this. That I know that that's what you are thinking now. Okay,
Yes, exactly.
but it's not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah, that it's not going to work. After some time, see, if you know that and still you choose to use this gizmos, that's okay. That's up to you. You can always do that. Okay, but it's always good to know that okay, it's an option out there. You can use this way also, and then we can work it that way. Okay, and then see, yeah, this is only one thing. I mean, I'm going to drop a bomb on you right now. I mean, after I put you tell you the scale also, I'm going to put a bomb on you. Just wait for it. Okay. So now rotation is there. Just like that, we have scale. Okay. If you want to scale something here, we can do that. Scale something here, you can do that. Scale something on the two axis, you can do that. I mean, I don't think that I need to explain on this that much, right? Because it's very easy. Because for scale, the shortcut is yes. If you just click yes and drag, it will scale in all dimensions equally. Okay. If you just click yes x, it will scale only on x direction. Yes y, scale only on y direction. Yes z, sorry. Yes z, scale only on z direction. Okay. Especially here, most often what happens is that if I want to just increase the width of it, then what I need to do is most often I need to increase this and this, but not the height. Okay, so either I can click on this small dot very carefully and do this, and this is very difficult when you have so many icons in this thing, or else I can go easily and scale Shift X, do this. Okay, you might think that using the gizmos, using the icons are very easy when you have only one or two icons in your thing. But what if you have so many things around and it is even difficult to select the one which is you want to select? It will be too difficult to select the icons. Then now here you have to select the icons and you have to precisely click on that blue box over here. Right.
Now I understand. I mean, what is the need of?
Yeah. So all that considering, knowing these things is going to kind of add to your arsenal, and it's a small inconvenience that you have to uh, go at in the beginning. Okay. Now, especially for people like Ashim who like to work with icons and gizmos and everything, we have a master gizmo, the last one. It called as transform. When you click that, you have all your scale, rotation, and move in single place. See, you just stand a little scroll in and see. Now you have the scale. We can increase the scale because there is a scale icon, there is a move icon, there is a rotate icon. Everything roll into one. Okay, super useful gizmo. I use it all the time. That's really helpful. But sometimes it will come in your way. All these things will come in your way. You won't be able to grab things properly. On that time, we use the normal shortcut. Otherwise, I use this a lot. Okay. Now, everybody clear on this part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Now, I have been telling you about X, Y, and Z direction so far, right? X direction, Y direction, Z direction. How do you calculate this direction? I mean, how exactly, how you define that which is Y and which is X and which is Z? You'll say, what kind of a stupid question is that? Z is always up, Y is always to the right, and X is always to the right, and Y is always facing you. I mean, as simple as that, right?
Or seeing the colors?
Yes, seeing the colors is a representation. I'm just asking you in a real sense, and how exactly we will tell that Z is up.
Depending on what object, what distance have to be this.
Assume that I am asking somebody to jump on Z direction. So how will you jump? You jump up, right? Right. There is a small problem. Problem is that the direction that we are telling now are world directions. There are two kind of directions. There are two kind of coordinates. One is world coordinates, and another one is object coordinates. For example, the one that we are seeing here, Z, X, and Y are global coordinates. This is the coordinates of the globe. Now, assume that I kind of rotate a little bit here. First, I will kind of increase the size a bit and then I will rotate a little. Now, this object have an X, Y, and Z axis. Doesn't that? For example, if I am standing up, my head is on Z axis. If I am lying down, my head is still on Z axis on my object, my world, right? On the global scale, my head is on Y axis because I'm lying down. But if you consider me relatively, if you consider me as an object, my head is always on top of me. Okay? When we sleep, we don't say that my head is on the side. Even when you sleep, your head is on the top. Even when you sleep, your leg is on your bottom. Right? So we have our own coordinates. Object have object's own coordinates, and the scene have a global coordinate. Right? There are two kind of things. Now, here, currently we are working on global coordinates. You can change that to local coordinates. See now what happened. Now, the Z direction is not exactly in the Z direction of the world. Instead it's Z direction of this thing. So if I kind of click here now, it will move in the Z direction of the object. Right? Not in the Z direction of the world. But if I move using graph tool, and graph tool also will work the same. I mean, see, so now this is also very important. If you want to move something with respect to its own axis, for example, if I want to stack things over this another over for example, if I want to kind of I duplicate this, I duplicate this and stack it over this. So if I want to do this, then I need to move this on its own axis, right? So yeah, that's the case. If you want to create that TISAS, that slanting tower, then you have to keep things on its own axis. Then only it will work on that side. Yeah. So this is another axis. There are two axes so far. That's a global axis. So global axis will work like this, and then there is local axis. Local axis will work like this, right? It's normal time when nothing is changed, axis will show only the normal axis, or only the normally the global axis. If something is changed, then the local axis and the global axis will be different. Otherwise, it will be the same. So the information which is shown here is actually this only, the global axis only. Even if I am moving through Z axis of the object, it's still showing that Z and Y are moving. So the subject is all the information shown here are only global axis, not the subject axis or the local axis. So think about that also. You have two axes, okay? You have a global axis and a local axis, and you can do three kind of transformations: rotation, scale, and movement. That's all the transformations. All right? Okay. Any doubts so far?
Sir, how have you duplicated this?
That I'll come to that. We'll all come to that like later. I mean, session. How to add things and how to remove things, how to duplicate things. All this I will come to that. Just think about the basic things now. I mean, do you have any problem with the modifications of things?
It's like, sir, we have x, comma, y, comma, z, where x and y can be fixed and you can prep the z.
We can do that, yes.
Is that what the two axes represents?
I don't understand the question. Can you come again? You have x, y, and z.
Yeah.
And
so in the coordinates of x, y, z, if I'm assigning x to be 2, y to be 4, and z to be 8, 10, 9. So all the arrangements which is all the shapes which fixed in 2, 4, the arrangements will be in z so that I can prep the z all the way so that I can have a bendings and everything, whether I'm leaning or everything. Only the preparations can be done like that.
You can do that. You can do that. That's a good thing. But the problem is that see now see when you say x, y, and z, where exactly that is calculating? Tell me that.
That's what.
See, when you say that x1, z1, and y1, okay, where exactly that's being calculated? So, for example, I'll tell you here this corner is here, right? This corner, okay. For this corner, z value is different from this corner, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm very glad that you asked me that question. I was wondering how exactly I am going to put that over to you. Now, you are looking at one object. Here, you are looking at one object. You can see that here. See, we are in object mode, right? This coordinates of the objects is calculated from the center point. Okay, so it doesn't have to be center point. It can always be, this is called as the origin, right? Origin of the object. Okay, so it's calculated from the origin. This origin doesn't have to be on the center. We can place this origin anywhere. That's a different. I'll tell you that later. How exactly we can change that. So it basically calculated from here. So to do what you are asking me to do. So if I assume that I have kind of bent it like this, still then I will have only one origin at the middle. I will have only one z axis for that. Okay, so this is going to be a bent shape with having only one z axis. Right. This shape is made up of different things. Okay. I'll show you what all those things are. Just go to edit. Now just see. Now, if you look at this, you have dots, right? You have dots here, you have dots here, you have dots here, and a dot here. Okay. This is called as vertices. What is it? Vertices. Okay. So I'll this called as vertex. So it's over here. It's written over here. Vertex. Okay. This vertex 1 and 2 vertex come together to form an edge. See. These two vertices will form an edge. Okay. Like that, 4 edges will form a face. This is a face. Okay. And then multiple faces like this will form an object. So in this case, there are 6 faces to form a cube. Okay. Now, just like that, I have told you that there is an x, y, z value for an origin point. Can you mute him? Later disturbance. Okay. You can ask me when unmute and ask me questions. So just like that, I have told you that there is x, y, and z axis for an object. There is an x, y, and z axis for individual vertices. See, when you select this, you know that this vertex is actually at minus 1, 1, 1. This vertex position is at minus 1, 1, 1 with respect to the cube. This vertex position is minus 1, 1. This vertex position is this. Now, if you want to kind of edit this and do that bending and everything, what you want to do is that change the position of these vertices. Get it? You can change the position of these vertices and create different type of shapes. Understand? Okay. Now, in a normal object mode, you don't have access to the vertices. Okay, you cannot edit it. In order to edit any shape in Blender, you click on it. On this side, you have object mode. Click on that. Go to edit mode. All right. Once you are in edit mode, you can manipulate the object and at vertex level. You can change the shape of that object. Right. Here also, you have three options. Either you can select vertices like this. See, now just after edit mode here, you have a symbol for a vertex. You just keep your icon, your mouse cursor there. It says vertex select. You can select only one vertex or one point. Or the next level one is edge select. If you select that, you can select one edge and move the edge completely like this. Move to any position. Or else you can do a face select. You select the face. You can move the face. The shortcuts and the tools to move, scale, and rotate remains the same. Okay. If I want to rotate it, I can rotate it. See, if I want to scale it, I can scale it using the thing also. I can scale it. Right. If I want to see everything all together, I can still do that. Okay. So, anybody have any doubts so far? How did I come to be here from that object place? Okay, I assume not. Now, let's do one thing. When you are in object mode, I'm in edit mode for this. Here, I'm in edit mode for this cube. If I am in edit mode, I cannot select other things. There is a sphere, but I cannot select it. I cannot move it. Because I am editing this particular object here. I can select all the vertices and everything for this particular object, but I cannot edit anything other than this one. I just consider this as I am inside that object now. Okay, I am inside that object. I cannot edit anything else. Now, let's go to object mode. Go back to object mode. Now select the sphere. Go to edit mode. We'll see how many vertices a sphere have. Okay. In here we had only 4, like 16 vertices to form a core, form a cube. But here, see how many vertices a sphere have. In order to have that proper bending of that vertex surface, it have multiple vertices like this. Okay, and then it forms thing, and then say if I want to select individual things, I can select it, I can move only that. See, now again here that thing comes to, when I select this space, see, I select this space and I want to select, improve this space like a spike to this position. But all your gizmos are pointing in global axis. When you go to local axis, you go to normal axis.
Sir, how to make that glow?
This globe. Okay. Okay, fine. I didn't tell you that. Okay. Fine. Forget everything that I. No, go back to object mode. Okay. Go back to object mode. There are two ways to add something into Blender, right? One way is that go to add mesh UV sphere. Try that. What happened? The sphere.
Sir, add mesh and cube. Like
Add mesh, and there are several different kind of shapes that you can add. Go to UV sphere. UV sphere here.
Okay, it has come in the center of that.
Exactly.
So how to drag it outside?
How to drag it out? You tell me that.
Okay, the first initial session something. What do you talk?
I said, if you want to drag something out from here, grab and move it out, or click on any of this thing and move it from there.
Press G.
G, X, Y, or Z, or else use this arrows to move.
போயிட்டு தானே இருக்கு மீட்டிங் போயிட்டு தானே இருக்கு. என்னோடது என்னன்னு தெரியல, மேபி எந்த டிஸ்கனெக்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு, அதனால இஷ்யூவான்னு தெரியலையே, அதனால தான் கேட்குறேன். என்னோட நெட்வொர்க் லாஸ்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
Right, come over there. You don't have to kind of change that, right?
Dr. Gopi, one minute. Sorry, there was a network issue just few minutes back. I think whatever that you have mentioned, maybe which people would not have received it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a 1 minute gap, 1-2 minutes.
Okay. So where was I?
Maybe you can start with the globe that you have created once the mesh has created.
Okay. Right. I'll. So, somebody was asking me how to create a new object. I mean, for example, this globe is here. Then how to create that somebody was asking me that. Then what I said that you can go to add mesh and you can choose any of the subjects from here. You can either create a plane or a cube or a circle or a sphere or an icosphere or a cylinder or a cone or a torus. Torus is a donut. Okay. So the thing is that whenever you create something, it's going to appear exactly in the middle here, right? And either you can create in the middle and you can kind of move that later out. But the reason why it has been created in the middle is that there is this there is this round, small red and white thing over here. This is called as 3D cursor, right? So anything which we add to the Blender scene will appear on this 3D cursor, fine. Now you can move this 3D cursor by selecting the 3D cursor tool from this toolbar, okay, and clicking it anywhere else. So if you click it here, the 3D cursor is going to be appear there, and make sure to unselect that. Otherwise, you will not be able to do anything else. Wherever you click, the 3D cursor will follow. And now, if you add a new thing, it will appear on the 3D cursor. See. So now everybody know how to add new things to Blender.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Right. So now, since I have already added this, now like how exactly I will put this 3D cursor back into the middle or wherever I want that to be. For example, I want a new circle exactly inside this cube or exactly on the top of this cube. How exactly I do that? For that, we can easily move this 3D cursor around with a pie menu. We are going to the pie menu again. Shift yes will give you a pie menu, right? So there are different things. If I select selection to cursor, the selected item will move to the 3D cursor. Okay. If I select cursor to selected, the 3D cursor will move to the selected item. If I select cursor to world origin, it will move back to exactly to the origin point. You know what is an origin point, right? This is x0, y0, and z0. That's the origin point. Okay. And if you ever want to delete something from Blender, you just select it and press X, delete, or else just delete. That's also would work. When you just delete, press delete to delete, then it will not ask you any prompt. Can you want to delete or anything? But if you press X, then it will ask you, do you want to delete it? Then press yes, you can delete it. Okay.
Sir, pie menu, what was the icon?
Shift yes.
Shift S.
Shift yes. Okay. All right. Now, another way to add a subject and something to Blender is just by Shift A. You press Shift A, it will give you all these things. You can either add a mesh. These things are called as meshes. Okay. Anything which is created using polygons are called as meshes. So you can create mesh, curve, surface, text, light, camera, speaker, or force, or anything to that. Okay. You just click Shift A, Shift A, and select a cylinder. The cylinder will be placed exactly at the origin point, at the 3D cursor. Okay. Yeah. Now let's delete everything. Delete everything inside this.
1 second, sir. To back to the original position, for the 3D cursor to be placed, Shift yes, and what should we select?
Shift yes, cursor to world origin.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Shift yes, cursor to world origin. Okay. Once you do that, delete everything. Before that, how do you usually select everything in Word? I mean, if you want to select everything in a Word file, how do you do that? You press Control A, right? Control A will select everything. Yeah. But if you press Control A in Blender, nothing will happen. It will ask you something weird, some other things. That's very important, but I will come to that later. Instead of that, if you want to select everything, you just press A. It will select everything. Okay. Now, when you select everything, you see that you have this cube in yellow color and everything else in orange color. Okay, which means that even though you have selected everything, this is the active object. I mean, that's very important. Why it is that? I will come back to also later. But just when you look at different colors, that's the reason. I select everything, delete. Okay. Now I will not do anything. Everyone create an icosphere, a cube, and a sphere. Now let's do that. Create a cube, an icosphere, and a cylinder, and move them apart. Let me know if anybody cannot do that.
Sir, cube, cylinder, and
Cube, cylinder, and an icosphere. That will move them separately like this. Me who cannot do that? I mean, is there anybody that you will be not able to do that? Is that done? Then give me some kind of thumbs up or anything if it is done. All right, Delna, fine. Then, all right, okay. Rajeshwari, everybody. I assume that everybody is able to do that. Okay, fine. Is there anybody who are not able to do it? I mean, just like this: create a cube, create a sphere, create an icosphere, and create a cylinder and move them separately into 3 different positions. Is there anybody who cannot do that? Okay, cool. Fine. Now, let's look at the difference in properties with these 3 things. Okay. Now just click on the cube, go to edit mode. Okay. Go to edit mode and come in vertex mode. Vertex selection. Now you have seen that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 vertices which is connected together to create this shape, right? You can select one vertex, go to level, and then you can select one vertex and you can kind of move it around. Okay. So there is only 8 vertices in this, and it was able to create a cube. It has this many shapes and everything. So now if you select a edge mode and select this, move this like this, maybe like a pie like this, and try to rotate it, you would see that it's rotating entirely. We are not able to bend it. Okay, why do you think that is like? If you kind of size it down, or whatever you want to do, you do it. You will see that it is working as a very big stick, which is kind of rotating as its own. It's not, and we are not able to bend it. So I mean, you might think that we can select this vertex and move it, but still it's moving as a single thing only. Why do you think that it is not bending? Any ideas? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because what Blender does is that Blender only stores the information of the position of these vertices. This is the only mathematical information which Blender stores. Okay, and then from that it kind of extrapolates to create edges. So according to Blender, it's like there is one vertex here and one vertex here, nothing in between. So Blender will automatically calculate the distance between these two vertices and create a line there. So it doesn't matter where this is moved, since there is nothing in between, it's not going to change anything. Now, I can add a lot of things. We can always add vertices to an existing shape. Okay. To do that, there are two ways. Okay, let's leave that. Then, so before in object mode, there is only this many menu. When you go to the edit mode, there are a lot more things here. See, there are a lot more things. From here, if you just keep your thing on that, then you will see that there are several options. Okay, among these, you select a loop cut. Okay, you select this loop cut and bring it here. So you can see a yellow light now, right? Okay, you can see an yellow light. Now, when you kind of click there, now you can see that it have created one more vertex here. Okay, now go back to your move tool, select the bottom vertex. Now try to move it. See, now Blender have an additional data point here. So it's extrapolating from this data point to this data point. Okay, and from this to this data point. Now it is not moving as a single stick, but instead they have a hinge in the middle, right? Now it's moving that like that. So more data points the Blender have to work with, okay, better and smooth the image will be, smooth the final version will be. Understand? So I can add one more loop cut here. I can add one more loop cut here, one more loop cut here. Now I can kind of move everything independently. See, now I'm able to make a curved surface, which was not possible to create when there was only two vertices. Get the idea? Okay. So you might think that we have to kind of go here and select this and select and everything, and all the time you have to go to click this and click this. We don't have to do that. Instead, we can always click Control R. Okay, Control R will give me the same yellow line, and I want to tell Blender to where to put that thing. I can put it here, or I can put it here. I can create a new vertex lines between on this particular edge on the top, or on this particular edge on the top, or on this particular edge, or any other edge that I really want, or for here, anywhere. So first I want to tell Blender that where exactly I want that cut. I click here. Okay. Now, if you when you click there, it is not applied, but instead it is just moving. See, and then from here, if you scroll up, you can add that to the number of cuts that you are doing. Sorry. You first, so where exactly you want, you scroll up, you can add to the number of the cuts that you want, and then click. Okay, then you can place exactly where you want that to. Get it? Now, from just like before, we have evenly placed new vertices from this point to this point. Now I can always kind of make this a slightly curved surface. Anybody have any doubts on this? I'm sure that you didn't understand it. I mean,
Rajeshwari has some
Actually, we need to work out
Yes, you need to work on it. I mean, there's no other way to learn this other than to work on it. There are so many things that you can do. That's why I was little hesitant to start on Blender before. I'll tell you all the basic things and how exactly you want to do and thought process behind it. You can work on it, okay, and then let me know how far you have progressed on that. Once we go through a exercise of creating a vector image or something, then you will be okay, be able to understand well. Yeah, Ashwin, you are asking something.
No, there is Rajeshwari has raised a question. I think.
Rajeshwari, yes. I think Rajeshwari raised her hand long back. I mean, for something that I asked. Okay. Yeah, Ashwin, you are asking something.
No, can you just tell me the scroll part alone? I mean, say we want to, how do we have this equidistance? So the distance is depend on what basis?
Okay, I'll tell you. Now, I'm starting over. Okay. Control R. Sorry, it's go to edit mode. Control R will give you one line.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Scroll up one plane. It will give you 2 lines. Scroll 2 times, 3 lines, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Okay.
Actually, there is no line coming up with Control R.
Are you in? Are you in edit mode?
Yes, edit mode.
Okay. Are you selecting from that particular subject? I mean thing.
Actually, here it is sphere. So how to come to that cube?
Yeah. I'll tell you again. You have selected on sphere, right? Don't select on sphere. Sphere have another issue. I'll tell you what it is. You have selected icosphere, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it was not me selected. Somehow it's in the ecosphere.
Okay. Go to object mode.
Okay.
Select the cube.
Yeah. Now it's in cube.
You come to edit mode again.
Okay. Thank you.
Try to add. Okay. So I'll tell you why it is not working on icosphere. That's why I kept it there for that reason only. Now, Ashwin, you got what you are asking for?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but this
scroll down and just
this cannot be happen in random. I mean, randomly we cannot add.
Randomly,
I mean,
you want to add your
all the layers are in equidistance and equispaces. The same.
Okay.
So if you want to add it for a particular region more randomly, then we can use only the controller. We don't have any scroll up or down.
Yeah, you can use only controller, and then also there are so many other things that if you want to select only this vertex and go to this edge slide here, I mean only maybe select the entire edge like this and go to edge slide here, then you can slide this edge. See, we can do that. There are so many other ways that this is just a starting. There are so many other ways that you can do that. Or else, I mean, there is another way to put a thing that's called as knife tool. You can select the knife tool from here and just draw it and click enter. See, new line is been added. Okay, that's also is possible. There are so many other things that we can do, but most often, unless necessary. So the thing is that we always have to keep our faces with the the 4 polygons. I mean 4 vertices. Okay, so that's the best way. So if you look at here, these have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. Okay, even if you look at each face here, this face has 4 vertices, 4 vertices, 4 vertices, 4 vertices. These 4 vertices come together to create something called as a polygon. Okay, so we need to create everything as polygons. We cannot have 3 vertices. If we have 3 vertices, then the calculation will go out. We cannot, the Blender may not be able to calculate that properly. If we have 5 vertices, 3 vertices are even fine. We can have it. If you have 5 vertices, then Blender may not be able to calculate that at all. It will create unnecessary artifacts in the final image. Okay, so we always have to keep everything, keep all the faces with the 3 vertices. For example, if you take a pen tool here and draw something like this, okay, now the problem is that this one have 5 vertices. See, there is 1 vertex here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is called as n-gone. N-gones are not good. It will not be able to calculate it properly. So we always have to keep everything to 5 vertices. But just think about it. I mean, we just want to keep everything to 4 vertices. We cannot be having 3, cannot be having 4. So that's why we will not be using knife tool too much unnecessarily. If absolutely necessary, we can use a knife. It's there, but we will use only this. And also, we always have to keep everything evenly spaced out for better texturing. If it is not evenly spaced, then we not be able to texture it properly. That's very difficult to texture. Okay, so it's always better to keep that even. Now, from here, I'm going back to object mode. I'm selecting this icosphere, and I'm going to edit. Just see how exactly this is made. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, after that controller, I'm stuck up. So what should we do after controller to bend?
Okay, to bend controller, right? Yes, this is a very crude way to bend. We don't. There are better ways to do that. Okay. What I will do is that I'll select individual points. Now I can move this. See. So I told you before, you can select one individual point, and we can always move it on different axes, just like an object you do with an object. Get it? I mean, don't stress upon it. You don't have to kind of do that now. We will do that when we are doing the exercise. Okay. Now just understand that. Just understand that you are able to select individual vertex points. Okay. And then you can move around to create whatever shapes that you need. If the existing vertex amount is not enough to create shape, you can always add more vertices by Control R. Okay. Or by knife tool, and then move it again. Get it?
Okay.
Okay. That's only that you want to understand right now. So now I'm going to the icosphere, and if you go into the edit mode of the icosphere, you can see that everything is made of triangles. So this is not squares. Okay, icosphere is completely made of triangles. But every other than icosphere, almost every other kind of things in Blender is made of squares. Icosphere is the only one which is made of triangles. But we don't like triangle much. Triangle is not that user friendly with Blender, so we will not use. So if we say, I'll give an example. If you go with this thing and try to put a Control R, there is no line, right? Because Blender is not able to extrapolate a line between these 2 points, because this doesn't create a square polygon. So Blender is not able to create that. That's why somebody when tried to create a line with Control R on an icosphere, it was not happening. But always you can use a knife tool and create one. Okay, so that is the usefulness of knife tool over edge loop. I mean, this thing is called as loop cut, and this is knife tool. The advantage of a knife tool is that even if it is a difficult situation that you really want to create a thing there, you can always do that. Okay. All right. Now, again, coming back to object mode. Before that, I haven't shown you the cylinder. So if you go to the cylinder, See, this is how a cylinder is made. Okay, you have a very big face here, and it have a lot of vertices. Okay, it's not square at all. You have one here also, but everything else in the middle is square. So if you are trying to put more vertices here, you will be able to do that here, but you won't be able to do that here. We cannot do that here. See? So we always want to end up with square vertices, whatever we do. We always have to think about that when you are modeling. So just going back to the initial basic, editing these shapes one polygon at a time to create shapes is called as polygonal modeling. That's what I said modeling before. Remember that? Okay. This is called as box modeling also. Now, what are the tools we have to create a box modeling? I have already told you about one tool here, which is loop cut, this one. Okay. And then there is another very important tool called as extrude. Okay. Loop cut was R, extrude is E. What I can do is that I can select a face here, click on extrude, and I can create a new face from there. You see, there is a new face now. Okay. And then there is something called as inset face. You can click on that. You will get an inset face. You drag and you will create a small face inside that face. You are not like made an enlargement out of it. You just created a face inside it. And then if you extrude it again, you will create another one. See? So with all these kind of tools, you will be able to create whatever you want. So you can extrude something here, you can insert it again, you can extrude again, you can insert again, you can extrude again. See, it looks something like a step or something. So with these tools, what you want to write down is that 1, loop cut, 2, knife tool, 3, extrude, 4, insert. With these tools, you will be able to create anything you want. Okay. So now, I don't know where we have time to kind of start on that thing today, bacteria phage today. And I am quite sure that even if I start bacteria phage today, most of the things will go over your head because it itself is too much heavy for you. I mean, at this moment, you have to practice and understand the basics of all this. I'll send you some tutorials, and you can practice on this today. Get comfortable with the basics of it. Okay, and then we can move forward tomorrow for take it on tomorrow for other things and everything. All right. And before that, because I have just shown you a few tools without any context, so it will be difficult for you to understand that. I will create something now. Okay. If you can follow along with me, you can do that, or else you can just observe it and take notes, and then try to create the same thing when you have time. Okay. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that will be
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So the thing is that even now it is too much. I am sure that you must have taken absorbed maybe 20% of what I have said now. It was too difficult for me to also when I started out, and so I can understand that. But that's fine. If you keep at it, you will be able to do it. So I'm going back to object mode. Delete it. Okay. So what we will make? We will make something quick and easy thing. Maybe a boat. What?
A ship.
Ship. Yeah, I thought that somebody will share the ship because that thing will look like a ship. That ship is, yeah, that's a good idea, but it have a lot of things in it. There are a lot of, what do you say, different small details to it. So it will be very difficult to make at this particular time. We have more time to make it. We can definitely make it. How about we try to make this bottle? Okay. All right. So I'll try to take this one. Now I'll just save image. Now I'll show you a very quick tip in which is going to come out very handy later on. We cannot create anything without reference. Okay. If you try to create at least a small bottle like that we are going to create now out without reference, it's going to be very difficult to place things together and play. So we always have to find out good references and make that reference and make based on that reference. Okay. So what I am going to do here is that I'll go to the front view. Okay. Front view. Now we can try to background. Where was that? Where was that? Where was that? One second. So I'll tell you something recently. When I was trying to learn Cinema 4D recently. There's another 3D software called Cinema 4D. I was trying to learn that, and that's good in its own something. So and I was learning directly from a I was trying to learn it directly from the manufacturers of Cinema 4D. Okay, so what? So yeah, I was so it was so interesting to see that the creators of Cinema 4D, creators of that software, were trying to figure out things on air. I mean, there people will ask something how to do that, and they wouldn't know how to do that. They created software, but they don't know how to do that. That reason is that when somebody is creating something like Blender or Cinema 4D, they are just creating a platform. Okay, you can create anything out of a platform. It's like, for example, an engineer created a pen. Okay, what you write with that pen is up to you. If you take that pen and go to the engineer and ask for how do you write French with that pen, then the engineer wouldn't be able to tell that, right? So yeah, that's the difference. So there is nothing. Even now, I was looking up how exactly to add reference because I forgot. It's been a while. So it's always okay, and it is always good to look up whenever you have something in doubt. When you are in doubt, it's always good to look up and understand how it's doing. So now how did I say that we are going to add things to Blender? I mean, how can we add new things to Blender? What was the shortcut? Anybody tell me?
Add shape.
Shift A. Okay. Shift A. Image. reference. Okay, it's asking me where I have kept the reference. I just downloaded that to my load reference. See, reference is loaded, but it is not exactly in the center. So I may be able how to kind of put this in the center like this or something. Or maybe I don't want to make this big. Make it smaller. I'll make it smaller. Click here. It seems to be a little bent. That's fine. So now I don't want to see this all the time, right? So what I can do is that I can select this. I can go to the image properties here, okay, and then I can kind of reduce the opacity a bit. Okay, all right. Now, also another thing is that I don't want to select this. This is just a reference. I don't want to select this. What I can do is that I told you that there are other filters like this here before. So I'll go here, select on this, like make sure that I just like locked it. I select this thing and I just locked it. I mean, leave that. I will come back to that later. Just know for now that I have locked it. It's not there. Or if you are not able to lock it, don't click it. That's also is. Now, the next thing we want to do is that now this is on this one. Fine. So the next thing that we want to do is that we want to create a shape. So the golden rule is that if you want to create something, start with the shape which resembles that to the most. Okay. So what does resemble to the bottle?
Cylinder.
You would say exactly a cylinder. So go to the mesh and create a cylinder. It's too big. Okay. Before that, I will show you something else also. Like I unlock this. I can duplicate anything in the window with a Shift D. Okay. With Shift D, I can duplicate it and I can right click to paste it right there. I am not moving. Okay. Now I select this, go to rotate. Okay. Go to the side view and rotate Z90. Okay. And slightly move this to here. Anybody know why I did this?
Make it center.
Yeah, so now it's just a symmetrical object. So it doesn't matter if I look at the front axis or on the side axis, I can still see the reference. Okay, so this is possible for a symmetrical object. Like all the sides are the same. If the left side was different from front side, then I wouldn't be able to do this. But I'll do this for now. Okay? So I can see this in all angles. Now we'll go to a cylinder, create a cylinder. First, we don't need to be this big. Reduce the size, roughly match the thing here. Move it over here because we have a small thing here, right? So we need a little bending over here. That will come to that later. Okay. Now, once you kept that side, see, it matches on the front side and it matches on the side. Now I will go to edit mode. Okay. What I want to do is that select the top this face here. Okay. And I take this extrude region tool or I simply click E to extrude. So I'll do that in the side view. I'll click E to extrude. I will extrude it till here because there is a bend over here. I'll extrude it, click here, click there. So it's extruded till here now. Okay. Now extrude it again. Extrude it again till here. Reduce the size a bit. Okay. Extrude again till here. Reduce the size even bit, like small. Now extrude again till here. See, so with only with 3 extrudes, I was able to create till here. Get it? So now what I'm going to do is that I will select this entire loop across this down. Okay, there is this loop continuously goes, this edge continuously goes here, right? So I click on one side of it. If you want to select the entire ring, you just hold Alt and select it. This is called as ring selection. You select this ring. Okay. Now there is another tool here called as bevel. Okay. Now if you look at that, this is a hard angle. Like the angle is little harder. I don't want the angle to be hard because in a typical glass the angle will be curved. Okay. So to get that, we take bevel and kind of do this. See, now the angle is curved. So when you do that, before leaving it, if you scroll up, you can add subdivisions in that. See, you can add more geometry in that. So I'll do the same for this also. I'll take bevel and we will bevel this with the more diamond. See, so now it was a sharp angle before. Now the angle is kind of small, and I will do the same on the bottom. I select the face, select on this. I select the extrude tool, extrude till here, reduce the size a bit. Okay, reduce the size a bit. Go to the bevel. Also maybe also here maybe. Go to bevel. Now I'll just hide the other two things. Look at this. We have the bottle. We don't have the cap for the bottle. Go back to object mode. We have the bottle. But still we can see the lines, right? We can see the lines here. To avoid that, right click. Now it is, the Blender doesn't know how to shade this. Is it a soft material or a hard material? That Blender doesn't know. We have just created the shade. So right click, shade smooth. Then you have the shape of your bottle. Okay. And if you really want to kind of add a small thing over here, you can do that also. See? So yeah. So what all I have told you now, what all the steps that I have told you. Can anybody summarize the tools that I have used to create this small bottle here? Yeah. I'll just list it on this.
Shall I?
Yes, please.
I'll start with a shape that look exactly with the image.
Okay. So this is called as reference.
Yeah, reference.
Okay.
So shift D so that it duplicates.
Okay. So why did you do that? So that we can see
to
the
make
things in all angles, all sides. Okay.
And
All right.
the image that we are going to work it on, keep it in the center by pressing Z and 90.
Okay.
Then create a cylinder.
Yeah. So why do you create the cylinder?
Because the object is more similar to the shape of the cylinder,
Okay. Okay.
and fit that cylinder inside that bottle, exactly fitting on the exact size.
Okay.
And then the size we can reduce or maximize or whatever according to the shape of the object.
Okay.
Then go to the edit mode.
Okay. All right. On edit mode, what are the tools that you use?
Edit
I mean,
mode.
just tell me what are the tools,
One
because
is click E, extrude.
okay. So yeah, I mean that's important because this for this time we have created a bottle. Next time we may have to create something else. So it doesn't matter what we create, we use the same tool. One is extrude. Extrude.
Okay,
Okay.
then bevel we used
What is bevel?
to curve it, to smooth the angle.
Okay. And how exactly bevel smooth an angle?
By creating more rings.
Exactly. It creates more vertices so that Blender can extrapolate it more evenly, and it creates a okay. And then what are the other things that we
Then ring selection I didn't get for what you suggested.
okay, a ring selection. Well done. Ring selection is plus Alt plus click. That's all. You click on a vertex using Alt, the entire ring will be selected. For example, if you go here, if you want to select this particular ring, entire everything, you can go to edge selection tool here, select one edge, hold Alt, click it on again. Everything will be selected. Okay. And now another thing that if you want to add more things, then you add loop cut.
So what is the shortcut for loop cut?
Control R. Loop cut. Control plus R. Okay. And mouse wheel to add more loops.
After extrude, we added one more, I mean, it's intrude, right?
Inset, right?
After extrude.
After extrude, we didn't add anything. We kind of just created. Yeah, there is something called as inset.
Yeah,
Extrude.
yeah.
After extrude, there is inset. Inset will create an additional face inside that existing face. Okay.
That is I, right? The shortcut is I.
Shortcut is I. Okay. For extrude, shortcut is E. For this is I. For bevel, shortcut is Control plus B. Okay, so we have only this much thing. Okay, these are the tools. If you consider this like learning driving, this is your brakes, clutch, and gears. That's all. Now go drive. With this many things, you can create as many things as possible, as far as the shading, as far as the shape is concerned. Okay.
So what is this inset?
Inset. Okay, I'll show you what is inset. Just 1 second. I'll just take one cube and I'll show you what I mean. I'll go to the edit mode. I'll select one face. When I insert it, it will create a face inside that face. See?
Okay.
Now you can extrude this face
Extrude it.
up or down, extrude it up or down to create different shapes like
Okay.
this. Okay. For example, if you kind of extrude this up, insert again, extrude this up, insert again, extrude this up, insert again, and you know what I'm trying to do here, right?
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Like this. You can use different shapes. So this is called as polygonal modeling. So I haven't touched on things called as modifiers yet. There is something called as modifiers. The thing is that now you might think that you can create anything, but the problem is that more the vertex amount, more the heavy the scene will become, and your computer will crash. Okay. So we need to create, we need to kind of keep the vertex number to a minimum. So for example, if you kind of select, it used to show here how many vertices is selected. Nowadays it's not showing. So yeah, it's not showing. I used to show here how many vertices we have selected. Okay, anyway, for this many number of vertices, the system will run fine, no issues. But more the number of vertices that you add, the Blender have to make more calculations and it will crash often. So we need something called as modifiers. Okay, there are a lot of modifiers here. So all these modifiers will allow us to create more things with keeping minimum number of vertices. That is also there. There is solidifying modifier. There are subdivisions of it. There is a bevel modifier inside this. All those two things will help to minimize the number of vertices, but still make good quality images. That's something we will look at later. So what I want you to do, yeah, please.
Sir, one more thing. How to lock the reference image? The first step.
See here, look at there is a yeah. In this scene collection, there is a funnel here. Can you see the funnel?
Okay.
Okay, click on that filter, and there are so many restriction toggles on the top.
Okay.
Okay, first one is selectable. Which is disabled by default. You have to enable it.
Okay.
Okay, once you enable it, you will see this small triangle here.
Okay.
So just in if it is filled triangle, which means that you can select it. If you click on it, it will become a unfilled triangle, which means that you cannot select it.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want you guys to do is that take a cube or a sphere or anything. Okay, let us not have an end goal. I mean, don't try to create anything. If you want to create something, just do it. Go fine. The bottles or something, you can create something very simple things. But what I want to do is that just experiment with this extrude and insert and everything. Okay, make sure that if you want to extrude, your hand will automatically go to E, or you know where to look for. Okay, just do some random thing. I mean, when you are stressed out, do some random things, do here and there. Just use these tools, that's all. Don't try to make anything. It doesn't have to be have any kind of end goal. Just play with Blender, so that way you will be able to kind of what to say, you will be able to walk better, you will be able to operate this better. Okay, all those things will be really helpful. Okay,
Okay, sir.
just do that, and tomorrow morning we will start directly with the thing. So the thing is that I may not be explaining what I have explained here, but instead I can give you a very good so go to blender.org, okay, and support, and there are a lot of tutorials. There is a lot of tutorials and user manual. User manual is a must. You have to read this user manual if you really want to learn things. Scenes and object, user interface, everything is here. Okay? I used to read this rigorously. Then in Blender, there is a get started thing first of the 2.80. You can still use it. See, I have seen all this. That's why it comes. It will take you to YouTube and everything. So yeah. I mean, if possible, finish all this. I mean, you don't have to go until here. Probably you can go till this number 15. Okay, from 1 to number 15 is your exercise. Everything else I haven't touched on it, so probably we can be honest, explore later. So there are so much things to learn, but the thing is that we won't be using all this. I mean, you are familiar with 80-20 rule, right? I mean, 80% of the time we are using only 20% of the tools that we have. So we don't need to learn everything, but this is a good place to start. So I'll explain. I will expect you to kind of see these videos till 15, number 15. This is only 1 minute, 2 minutes, maximum 3-minute videos. There are 1 or 2 15 minutes videos. That's all. But you have sit through 3 hours of this boring workshop, then you can definitely watch 15 videos of this one. That's fine. Okay, do that, and then we will meet again tomorrow.
It was an excellent workshop. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so once it is done, then probably I'll give you another big tutorial to work on. That's a little bigger one that we will see later.
So yeah, so tomorrow morning we will see. And I've also shared the forms in the Google. I mean, you can just give us a feedback of about the session. Maybe we can.
That you can do tomorrow also, right? I mean.
No, actually, it's every session we need to do it. I mean, it's the protocol.
Okay, all right.
But sir, is it possible to postpone the class of tomorrow? Because to really, if you want to dedicatedly watch all these videos and all, we need some time, right?
I would happily do that, but I'm not the organizer.
No, it's not actually possible. So it has to be done.
It's fine. As they said, just go through it. Whatever, maybe it's like it will take only 1 or 2 hours to finish the entire thing. Do that. Let's do tomorrow. And I am not expecting us to be masters tomorrow also. There is a lot of things going to be confusing and everything. We haven't even started on trading. So things are there, and then after that probably we can extend this a little bit more through WhatsApp or something. That's fine. I mean, probably as you know, somebody can create a WhatsApp group or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe
some
kind of group.
Yeah.
Where,
yeah, they can say whoever is interested. I can put that in the group, and then we can discuss over it.
Yeah. Yes. Something like a Telegram or something is anywhere.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Gopi. So tomorrow morning we'll discuss at same time 9:30.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, all right.